OneFinity and I have been busy making these crazy little signs. These are just out of scrap wood that I had around the shop, dug them out of the pile, whatever, cut them down to size and put something on them. I happen to be a Christian guy, so yeah, I tend to put like little Bible-y verses or whatever, or make up stuff that I'm interested in, and here they are. And I'll tell you the gory details on a couple of these. So this one here is pine, and I actually did, what do they call that, Shishugibon? This is actually burnt, and then I brushed it off with a brass brush before using a V-carve bit to cut this in. I think it turned out really awesome, and I like the saying on it because, yeah, I have a lot of favor. This one here, so I cut out everything around the letters, and I actually mixed a little bit of red and black. I just sprayed some black on there, and then I sprayed some red on there to get kind of that blackish red in the background. I think that turned out pretty good. Peace. It's kind of boring, but it's kind of nice, right? So this one here, I tried carving a sword or a dagger into it. I think it turned out pretty good. I spray painted it with black, and then I wiped the spray paint off with like a mineral spirits just to kind of partially wipe it off and show some of the wood. Like down in here, you can see the wood behind. So it looks a little bit on the rustic side. 3D carving in oak is not the greatest. It carves really clean as the bit is going down into the cut, but as it comes back out of the cut on the other side, there's a little bit of fraying. So you got to get in here with a tiny little piece of sandpaper and sand it out. This is pretty small. I had one piece break off, the little piece of the old broke off that I had to re-glue in. And I really like how the V-carve turned out on this one. I used a kind of a script type font. The only thing that I messed up is I started carving this on the wrong board, and the board was longer than it should have been. So I cut off the ends and just left this as it was. It's, sprayed with a enamel or whatever, but otherwise, yeah, I like the way this looks. Looks really nice. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This one here, actually, I really like how this turned out. I had a V-carve bit that went around the edges of these letters, and then I sprayed black on here, and then I finished it out. So all of these are outlined in black, and then there's a natural wood on the inside, of course. And before I started everything, I sprayed this with red spray paint, and then just wiped it off real quick again with mineral spirits, well, lacquer thinner, I guess it was. So that's how you get kind of that light reddish look on here, and then the outline in black, which turned out really cool. So I like what this sign says. It's based on a Bible verse. It says, perfect love casts out all fear. It says, love a lot, fear not. There's no fear in love, yada, yada, but there is stupidity in not putting the right bit in the router before you start the CNC, which is what happened here. So you can see all of this is way wider than it should have been. It should have been V-carved, and I forgot and left the 1/4" bit in there and just started. And once I hit go, within 2 seconds, I knew I was wrong, and I just had to let it go. So there it is. It is what it is. So here's another one on oak, and it says love will still be here when you return. It's kind of like if you have a kid that went wayward or whatever and ran off on you, and well, you got to be the good person so they got something to come back to. Or maybe a friend did that to you, bailed out on you, whatever. So that's a sign there. It turns out pretty good. I like the oak. Again, I did spray this with a little bit of black and then wiped it off, so you can see it's just a little bit darker there than it otherwise would be. And the black, of course, stays down in the lettering. Welcome sign, a little different font, vertical. Yeah, it looked cool by the door. And finally this one, since I messed up so many on this, I ended up with this saying here, for God's sake, do it right. Sounds like something your mom would say, right?